The Aston Martin F1 project is almost ready to come to fruition. It has been 5 tough seasons for the team as they've struggled to match the level of investment that has been provided by the Stroll family. On track, apart from that magical start to the 2023 season, they have been average at best, and oftentimes they've been worse than that. However, a long time ago now, Aston Martin decided that 2026 was the target for becoming a top F1 team. The investment in the new factory and wind tunnel only saw results this season and won't get its first proper test until working on next year's car. With 4 races left of this season, the senior team at Aston Martin have laid out their plans to dominate Formula 1 from race 1 next year. Today, I'll check out the incredible comments from Cowell and Enrico Cardille and try to work out if what they want to do is actually possible, so don't go anywhere. If you took a look at this season's results and knew nothing about what was happening off-track at Aston Martin, you would say they are just another midfield team with very little chance of disrupting the established big teams next season. They are 7th in the Constructors' Championship, though the midfield is very congested and they could just as easily end up 9th or 6th after this weekend's Brazilian Grand Prix. Alonso's 5th place in Hungary is their best result of the season, while Sauber and the Racing Bulls have managed to secure a podium, so they haven't even reached the unlikely heights their rivals have. There is nothing in those results to suggest that anything is set to change for the team, but off the track, they're establishing themselves not just as a top team in Formula 1, but possibly the best. Since the former Racing Point outfit became Aston Martin in 2021, the team have made changes as they aim to work their way forwards in the pecking order. This has seen a number of high-profile signings join, including managing technical partner Adrian Newey and new chief technical officer Enrico Cardille. The squad also opened a brand new factory at their Silverstone base, housing facilities including a new wind tunnel which became operational earlier in 2025. Their factory is now the best in the sport, and assuming their wind tunnel works as expected, then they will have the best development facilities in Formula 1. Speaking to the team's YouTube channel recently, team principal Cowell spoke about Aston Martin's goals now that they have all the tools they could ever want at their disposal. When asked about the secret to keeping all members of the outfit happy, Cowell listed the factors involved in this. Honesty, and don't overpromise, and make sure we've got a single focus, the race car, the Briton said. It all comes back to the race car, so what are we all going to do for the race car? Set big goals. Set goals that everybody thinks are impossible, but then make it possible, and that's teamwork. The vision to get to the top and then staying at the top. Coming up with those tough targets, BHAGs I like to call them. Pushed on what the BHAG, or Big Hairy Audacious goal was, Cowell answered, to win multiple championships back-to-back. And when asked if he believes that will happen, the team boss added, that's what we're striving to do, and yes, it will happen. Watching the interview, it's hard to not believe his confidence, but after all, to lead a team with the ambitions of Aston Martin, you have to believe that a goal like that is possible. However, when you look at a team like Ferrari, for example, it's clear that winning in Formula 1 isn't as simple as spending money, not now the cost cap is in place. You need more than money, you need a collective drive together, and that is something that Aston Martin team principal is well aware of. While achieving consecutive titles remains the goal, Cowell shared an insight into what greatness looks like for the team in terms of the process. Teamwork, he explained. It's an engineering business, working as a team for the good of that race car. Having everyone pulling in the same direction is certainly a big part of the plan, but Cowell can't control everyone within his own factory, never mind those who will be based halfway around the world. Next season, Aston Martin will be powered by Honda powertrains in an exclusive deal which should give them the same level of control over the engine as a team that builds their engines in-house. The Japanese manufacturer has powered all of Max Verstappen's 4 titles to date, with the Dutch driver currently vying for a 5th consecutive crown. While they did struggle at the start of the turbo hybrid era when they returned to the sport after the global financial crisis in 2008, they are now as good as any other manufacturer on the grid. Aston Martin's CTO Enrico Cardille recently waxed lyrical about working with Honda exclusively in an interview with the Beyond the Grid podcast. On one end, during the development, they're just trying to satisfy our request, so they don't need to find any compromise with different requests on one hand. On the other hand, I guess they can push a bit more on development, because having to provide power units just to one team, the quantities are lower than having multiple teams, and this is allowing them to push more for the development. Cardille admitted the majority of his focus was not on Honda's power unit. The Italian is currently working alongside senior technical partner Adrian Newey, designing the British team's car for the upcoming season. Nevertheless, he's been surprised by the Japanese manufacturer's aggressive approach. Personally, since I joined, I'm focusing my attention on the chassis, so just marginally I'm seeing what Honda is doing. For what I see, I'm surprised by the commitment and the aggressive approach they have. They're very open to collaborating on satisfying the requests we have on the chassis side, but my focus is so far completely, I would say, on the chassis development rather than the power unit. This statement is very similar to every other one that comes out of Aston Martin. All of them are very positive and make it sound like things at the team are going really well in the run-up to the 2026 season. But what are the actual odds of them winning back-to-back championships like Cowell wants? Well, before I talk about that, if you want to catch all the news and analysis in the lead up to the 2026 F1 season, then make sure to press the like button and subscribe to F1 Reverse. Thanks a lot. So Aston Martin's owner Lawrence Stroll has invested hundreds of millions of dollars into this team. He's built the best engineering facility in the sport, hired the best engineers available, and put everything in place for 2026. They even have a World Championship winning driver in Fernando Alonso. But surely Formula 1 can't be this simple. Can you just build an incredible facility, hire the best people, and then profit? Well, when you put it like that, it certainly seems so. But Formula 1 isn't just about spending money. The people you hire have to work together. They have to be united and pushing in the same direction, and they have to be motivated to work to the best of their ability. That is where Aston Martin has been coming up short at times. They haven't been working to the best of their ability on race weekends. Operationally, it doesn't seem like everything is clicking just yet. Following the team's disastrous showing in Mexico, with Fernando Alonso retiring and Lance Stroll spinning to a pointless finish, the two-time world champion wants the team to prioritize operational improvements to ensure they make the most of everything that has been happening at Silverstone next season. On the weekends, we still need to perform at our best level, he said. We need to keep the motivation high. We need to improve in some things that we need operational-wise to get better for next year. So we need to use these races as a test in a way. Alonso knows that he probably hasn't got that many years left in his career. If Aston Martin can produce a seriously competitive car next season, then he wants to be ready to capitalize on it. To do that though, he needs a trackside team who are also working perfectly, and that hasn't really been happening for Aston Martin this year. They've struggled over the course of a race weekend to find improvements in their car and keep up with the rest of the grid as they've found extra pace. It hasn't been uncommon to see Alonso in the top 5 in FP1 before exiting qualifying after the very first round. That has to change if they have serious ambitions of a championship title next season. Do you think they can do it though? Can Aston Martin offer Alonso one last chance at a World Drivers' Championship? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and until next time, drive safe and bye for now.